Oh boy. Okay, what is this going to be? Is this number three? I think it is. Isn't it number three? I'm kind of losing track now. Apparently, I'm never going to be on Facebook Live ever again. So I'm just waiting for the emergency broadcast system, and they're going to go in, and Facebook is going to be shut down, and everybody on Facebook who works for the company and all will be arrested and charged with crimes against humanity. And everybody thinks that I'm just full of shit. Don't know what I'm saying. Crazy, unaware. Well, folks, what I just received on the internet. Oh, well, everything's true on the internet. Uh huh. Aren't you going to be in for a big surprise? If you get on Telegram and don't listen to these other idiots that have no idea what they're talking about, and you actually hear and see what's going on, I said this years ago. I said, we are going to be living in a Stephen King horror film that is set in science fiction. The list that I just received, and I don't, it stays here and then it goes away real fast. Okay. But, boy, I wish I could find this and read you what they said. Um, it's just not here anymore. Doesn't stay on Facebook very long. As long as the truth is there, they're going to take it off. Okay. But if the truth isn't there, if it's a big lie, they're going to leave it on. Um, Satanic rituals, cannibalism, which is killing children and eating them. Some lady just got on the other day and said, my 7-year old, this is first grade, is talking human flesh in McDonald's food. Where did you get that? Where'd you? Well, everybody's talking about it in my grade. First grade. Yeah, okay. Well, oh God. It's true, but in first grade, they're now becoming aware of what's really going on. The satanic rituals, everything, all this comes from the reptiles, the reptilians, and the draconians. Understand how they got here and how they just that got it the same thing. We live in what's called the Milky Way system. Okay. It looks like heavy pollution in space. Okay. And you don't even want to go in there. And then there's this little dot of light. And keep in mind, because the one thing they do show you that's kind of close to the truth is in your science thing, where it shows you that the Earth is this little bitty thing, and then the planets get bigger as you go out, except for Pluto. But this is where they could hide and not be found. Well, since 2019, they've been found and they've been dealt with. All those things that you're seeing, first of all, NASA is nowhere near what you think it is. That's all a lie. But those things you see that they say they're meteors, those aren't meteors. Those are reptilian and draconian spacecraft that are being blown out of the sky. Okay? That's what that is. Because they've been told if you try to leave, you'll be blown out of the sky, and that's what's happening. If you knew what lived inside of the planet, you'd be afraid that one of, like in the floor, that it would, you see these sinkholes that are forming and they keep to, oh, that's just from the weather, oh, that's just from the water doing the dirt, and that's just the, and not, no, if you knew what was down underneath the earth, and remember, reptiles like it very hot. DS9, Deep Space Nine, Cardassians, reptilian race, they don't even look that good. But they liked it where it was real warm. Well, in the center of the earth and with their artificial lighting, I believe it's like 120 to 150 degrees. Okay. You couldn't stand it. And they have openings around the planet that they and get you their food and come back in. Um, Taking the human who is, as you can, we call them elitist, and we call them people that come out and they grab things and they do things, and they're the ones on adrenochrome and all that. And now you've been seeing the pictures where we've caught some of these people and we've taken them off at adrenochrome. It's like a youth drug, and as soon as you take it away, then the body hurries up and matures to that. Well, you haven't been getting old for 30 years. Well, if I take this away, guess what? Your body gets old in 30 years in about 7 days, if not long, or if not shorter. The bullshit about this Kirk guy and the wife. Now, whether she has been replaced or not, we don't really know, but she's a reptile. They are shape shifting reptiles. On Deep Space Nine, you had shapeshifter. We have a lot of science fiction movies that talk about shapeshifters. But you've been taught that science fiction isn't real. You are just going to freak out when this EBS goes off and they start showing you and telling you what's going. What's her name? Is it Laura? Laura Renaud or something like that? She's on Facebook. Blonde girl who dropped out of high school and who's now more intelligent than most people on the planet. That's not supposed to happen. Married, kid, all that good. Well, she even does like Mel K does. You don't hear about Mel K anymore because I think she was told if you don't shut up, you're going to disappear. And Laura doesn't do a lot of things that Mel does. So Laura gets to get on well, she's on Facebook saying this stuff, and they haven't thrown her off yet. But it's really interesting because I was there in the beginning, and all the people that used to be on Facebook and YouTube, they all were thrown off. And now they got to be on BitChute, and they got their own channels, and they got all this other stuff. Those are the people you need to listen to, not this bullshit that's coming out of this thing. That's all lies. They're trying to tell you that that's a war over there. There ain't no war. You're removing the evil of the planet. They're in Iran. But we're the big control part. Because you ask yourself, why are we over there? What's the point of doing that? Because tomorrow we could go over, take over the entire area, and the gas station would be ours. Look what's happened to you right now. You're paying all this big money for gas and all that. That's all set up. That's all reptilian. It's just going to be a phenomenal awakening is about to happen. Also we'll go over to the train side now. I fixed this. Okay. This isn't the way I do it, but um, this you have to fix it. They do it in PDF. PDF, when it prints, you don't get anything except what's below or what above where it says sponsored by Traintown. That's what you get. You don't get this because PDFs don't print 8.5 by 11. Okay. You have to convert this into, and I put it in, what did I put in? I have Publisher. Now, someone said Publisher is going to go away and you're not going to have it anymore and you're going to, whatever. When that happens, then I'll do something. But you can put this in Publisher or you can put this in Microsoft Word. Okay, you can do the same thing. Just needs some adjusting. But I went ahead and fixed this, and now here is their flyer the way it should be. And this is just to help them out because I'm at that show. This is a little expensive on tables. It's $25 a table, but I only get 2. And I do well there. I sell stuff, and of course, you never know what you're going to find and buy. So I do that too. So, but I'm going to run these off and then I'll set these at shows. And this is the flyer. That's not the flyer. That's an announcement. Okay. This is a train flyer because it has your reservation. How do I know that? I've been doing this for 40 years. 40 years. I had a shop in Dupo for over 8. I think I know what I'm doing. So, yeah. I seem to be right on everything I'm doing too. Well, that's what logic and deductive reasoning will do. So we're going to run this and we're going to put these at the show. And then April 11th, okay, I'm not going to take all those flyers off there. That's too much work. Okay, so first of all, this one right here, this is this week, 29th at Collinsville. It's the Hot Wheels show. And then right next to that is the April 11th show. This is at the Lime American Legion, and that's on South Broadway. But you never get to a bad part of town. This is a really good part. You can go there, Google Earth. Okay. The next weekend, April 18th, is this show, and that is the Iron Spike Railroad show, which is over in Washington, Missouri at the community center. Again, you never know what's going to walk in the door. And I do well there also. The funny part is the very next day, I've got to get up and do the St. Charles, which is this show. And that's the St. Charles, Missouri Steel Shop. And that could be for you. It's a Comic-Con show. You never know what's going to be there either. It won't be trains, but it'll be models of some sort and whatever. And I do that to promote their show and all of that. Then May, is that up there? Why is that not up there? Because June is up there and that May show is up there. I don't know why that's not up there. Wow, I don't have their flyer. Why don't I have their flyer? I don't know. Guess I need to go over to their shop and get their flyer. But then I want to buy something. Um, After the storm, why don't I have that flyer? Huh. Uh, the only show in May, May 23rd, after the storm at the Arnold Eagles Lodge. I don't know why I don't have that flyer. There's another show here. May what? May 3rd. That's not a train show. Okay. I'm glad I'm doing this. I didn't even see it. MVNA. That's the model show. Okay. All right. So the model show's on May 3rd, and after the storm, train shows on May 23rd. Okay. I'm going to have to go get that flyer, even though I want to buy something when I go in there. Okay. So then June, and I believe it is June what? June 13th is the train show at the what is this? The Farm Museum in Greenville, Illinois. It's their railroad. They have a steam engine you get to ride behind and take pictures of and look at. It's really cool. That is June 13th. Well, the day before that is Scott Air Force Base is having an air show unless it gets shut down because of whatever's going on and whatever. So it looks like we're going to try to do this show on the 12th and then do this show on the 13th. I'll be at the hospital on the 14th. So then in July, the third weekend, which is the 23rd to the 25th, basically it's 24th and 25th. It's Saturday, Sunday. That is a specialty show at Collinsville, Illinois at the Gateway Center, and it's the prototype show, which we have the largest in the St. Louis. I'm sorry, in the entire country, not St. Louis, just the entire country. That's June, July, and then August. This used to be in August, we moved it, or he moved it back a weekend for August 29th. This is the second, okay? This is the second Boeing show. And the first one wasn't just too bad. It was pretty good. I will be putting these, Sunday is the time I sit down and do podcasts, okay? So Boeing is going to be first, and then Springfield will be next, okay? So that's August 29th. And then August, September, I've not heard of anything in September. And October, I haven't heard anything in that either. But November 7th is at the VFW post in Collinsville, and that is the NMRA show. Okay. And this is always a really good show also. And of course, that takes you into December, and that's when this is here. Okay. So, gee, I must have done this already. I wonder where this is at. This could be their flyer. I don't know who made this, but this is what you're supposed to have. I mean, mine is good. This is better. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and run this. That's December. Now, I don't know of anything in January, but then in February is going to be our Sons of American Legion show, and that's on February 13th, 2027. We've changed our time, and we start at 9 and go till 2. Most of my big vendors come over and help me set tables and chairs. And then we set our stuff up. So the big vendors that come in, they come in the night before. The little ones that come in from 7 to 9, that's 2 hours. That's all you need. Okay. If you're a small guy, if you're a big guy and you're going to need more, come over for early setup, help set tables up. That'll go faster, more people, and set the tables and set the chairs, and then bring your stuff in, set it up. So that will work perfectly. So most shows are over at 1 o'clock. Everybody's packing by 2, or even, we're gone by 3 o'clock. So there's no use running until 3. So we're going to go ahead and change. That's February, and then quite probably in March will be Boeing. Probably also, in March 14th is his next one next year. And I just had it. Okay, so when you see the podcast, I don't understand this. This is called an announcement card. Nobody picks these up. Okay. This is also an announcement card. Okay. But this is what they do, and you're not going to change it. Okay. But it's March 14th of 2027 next year. Okay. I looked at this. This is a beautiful flyer for announcement. And then they give you you go to their site. And of course I just did a podcast about this. And I put in there, if you're a lazy ass, you're not going to want to do any of this stuff. Okay. And I'll put that in there, and because I'm going to copy this and run it. You go to their website, and there's the vendor registration form. And it's rather lengthy because it's got some legal stuff on it and stuff like that. So that's where we're at. I really hope kind of that, everything is being told and whatever is fiction and it's not real. Because the worst thing that I can see could happen is if all this turns out to be real. I don't think that was AI that I was looking at. It looked, because I'm a photographer and I know what pictures look like. And the pictures and the video that I've been watching since 2019, and it's hard to believe, because that means that most people do not get on the internet. They just float around in the matrix, and they're just not, they have no idea what's going on around them, in their backyard, even in their house. Your children are beginning to become awake, and they're going to start talking and saying things that you're going to look at. What's wrong with you? You've lost your mind and whatever. No, I'm smarter than you are now. I took you off the pedestal and I put you down here with us, and I looked and I said, you're more fucking dumb than we are. And because the child is on the computer and you're not. You're in front of that stupid thing right there. Okay. And that's where you're getting your news and all your information, and it's all lies. So, as I said, I hope it's not real, but what I've been looking at, I'm a videographer and television production and podcaster and all. I'm sorry, folks, you can't argue with video. You can't do it. Our pictures. So, blinking lights, folks, blinking lights at every show. Our next show, we have to wait a while for this. But our next show is April 11th at Lee May. Very good. It looks like a very good location. Looks like a big location too. So that should be a really, really good show. So I don't know what video this is. I think this is number 3. Maybe it's number 4. I don't know. But we'll see you next time. Live long and prosper. Oh, yeah.